Hi guys, today we're going to be looking ahead to the new year and I'm going to be sharing with you 25 items I want to either use up or hit pan on in 2025. This is a very ambitious list. 25 things, that's a lot of products. I highly doubt I will actually use up or hit pan on all of these things. But I figure it's better to be over ambitious than under ambitious. And this is just a list of things I would love to at least make progress on next year, even if I don't pan them all. In 2024, I really stepped back from project panning. I actually haven't done any makeup project pans at all this year. I mostly did that A, because I was feeling really burnt out on project panning, but B, I kind of wanted to experiment and see how many products I use up organically in a year if I'm not actually intentionally panning. And instead I ended up kind of using my everyday makeup drawer as a way to rotate these products in. I did have a list of things I wanted to use up in 2024 as well, and I definitely will share a recap on that probably at the very end of this month. And I just kind of kept those things in mind to rotate into my Shop My Stash frequently, to just make sure I was using without actually tracking my progress, filming updates, that kind of thing. And I'm happy to say I did end up using up and panning a lot of those things, and I've actually used up a fair number of makeup products this year, but I definitely didn't use up as many things as I did in previous years when I was actively project panning. So in 2025, I am going to be bringing back project pans kind of in a new way on my channel. I actually want most of my panning focus to go towards my eyeshadow collection, and I'm going to be doing a no pan left behind project specifically focused on my eyeshadows, and the goal with that is to use every eyeshadow in my collection at least once throughout the year. So that is going to be the year-long project that I'm working on, which is really not so much focused on using things up, but rather just getting even use out of all my palettes. So that I'm really excited about. But I also am thinking I want to do at least a couple of short-term project pans next year. So I won't be doing a year-long rolling project 10 pan like I've done in the past, where I have basically a makeup project pan going on constantly throughout the year. Instead, I think I'd rather have shorter-term projects with an end date, and then after that, I don't pan anything for a little while, and then maybe do another one later in the year. So that's kind of what I'm leaning towards doing as far as panning goes. But even outside of dedicated project pans, these are the products that I just want to try to use as much as I can next year, just in a very low pressure way. Anyway, I'm really excited to share the 25 products with you, but first I want to thank the sponsor of today's video, which is Ana Luisa. You guys know I love Ana Luisa's jewelry. I wear it in just about every video and even just every day out in my regular life because I love their jewelry. It's super high quality, it's water resistant, tarnish resistant, and so I feel like, it can definitely take a beating in just my day-to-day life. I can wash my hands, do dishes, do all kinds of things, and not have to worry about my jewelry getting ruined. Today I have on a few of their pieces, including some new to me ones that I have been loving recently. So first up is this necklace. How cute is this necklace with the little flowers? This is the Rowena necklace. They also have this in a bracelet in both gold and silver. So I'm really tempted to get the bracelet to have a matching set. Then on my ears, I just have on a pair of simple gold hoops. These are the Julia medium hoops. I didn't have just a pair of really simple kind of smaller gold hoops, and these are just perfect. I love them because they open and close as one piece, you know what I mean? Instead of having the back that you stick on, it just closes up really easily that way, so it doesn't poke you in the head when you're talking on the phone or anything. So love that. They're also just really easy to take on and off, which I love. And I have on a few rings as well. This silver ring here is my Aura ring. That's a health tracker, so that's not from Ana Luisa, but everything else here is. This is the newest addition to my ring collection, and I am in love. This is the Cleo. It's a little snake, and it is so beautiful. The details on this are stunning. It has, that gorgeous snake scale pattern, and its eyes are green cubic zirconia. They're just these tiny little green gems, which I just think is such a fun touch. And that little green detail actually matches perfectly with this ring. This is the winter reversible ring. I've shown this before, but it actually is reversible, and it's a fidget ring. So I just think that's so much fun. This would make a great Christmas present. And I've actually been loving stacking that Cleo snake ring with the Coty signet ring from them. They really do fit together so well, and I just love that combination. So if you're still trying to decide on a holiday gift for someone, or maybe you yourself are looking to accessorize some holiday outfits, I think Ana Luisa would make such a great choice. They're currently having a really great sale going on. It's up to 30% off their website, or AL Plus members get up to 35% off their website. Definitely recommend checking them out for any of those. I don't want to say last minute because we're not in quite last minute territory right now, but we're getting there. Yeah, only 2 more weeks till Christmas, so I guess it kind of is last minute at this point. So click the link at the top of my description box to check out Ana Luisa's sale. And thank you so much to Ana Luisa for sponsoring today's video and being such a long-time supporter of my channel. Now let's go ahead and get into the 25 products. Let me tell you, this is an ambitious list, you guys. So as I've mentioned recently, there's one category of my collection that I want to completely use up in 2025 and then never repurchase, and that is face primer. I am so tired of trying to fit face primers into my routine when I feel like they just don't naturally fit into my routine, so I shouldn't try to force it. Like, face primers just aren't for me, so I want to use up the ones I have and then be done with them. The good news is I only have 2 full-sized primers and 1 mini-sized primer, so I feel like it shouldn't be too difficult to go through all of these. So the first one, and this will definitely be a challenge to use up if I don't end up decluttering it before that happens, is the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Primer. I may end up decluttering this if I can't make it work for me. I've definitely been having trouble with it recently, whereas I feel like in the beginning it worked for me every single time and I really liked it. Some people have speculated that it's expired. I really don't think it has because the color hasn't changed as far as I can tell. And it's not like I've had it that long. I've had it like a little over a year, but like I feel like it shouldn't have expired by now. So I'm trying to figure out if there's like a correct combination of products to wear this or a specific type of way to wear this. So still playing around with this, but if I do make it work for me, I do want to finish it this year. And then my other 2 primers, and these can also kind of double as skincare. These could potentially be applied under sunscreen as well. But these are the Glow Recipe Watermelon Glow Niacinamide Dewdrops and Hue Drops. I only have the mini of the Dewdrops, and I've already used probably half of this. Like, it's a pretty small mini, so I don't think this would take too long to finish, and I actually think this would make a great mixer for some of the other products that I want to pan next year. So that I think I will enjoy panning. And the Hue Drops are really great. They're kind of like a bronzy version of those Dewdrops, but they're not quite as glowy. They do just give a really subtle bronze tint to the skin, and it's very like realistic looking on my skin tone. It's not overly pigmented. It's not something that you have to mix with a moisturizer. Like a lot of bronzing drops I feel like are just way too pigmented, but this is like the perfect amount of pigment. Here I can show. Like, it looks really dark when you first pump it out, but it actually blends out so nicely and it's not streaky at all. It is a really beautiful product. And if I were to recommend a bronzing drop type of product, it would be this. But I also just recognize that I don't really need bronzing drops in my routine. They don't really make sense. It's kind of something I have to go out of my way to fit into my routine. I want to just use it up and move that category out of my collection altogether. I also would like to try to use up, or at least just make good progress on the e.l.f. Halo Glow Liquid Filter. I don't really think of this as a primer because I don't really use it that way. I most often mix it with foundations, use it as a liquid highlighter, or use it as a mixer with like liquid blushes or things like that. Yeah, it's really a mixer more than anything. They say that the shelf life on this is only 6 months. I've definitely had it longer than 6 months. It does have a doe foot, which worries me that like it could go bad just because, you know, it's not the most sanitary touching this to your face and then sticking it back down in there. Like, I know there are preservatives in here to keep it safe to use, but not technically past 6 months, according to them. So I do kind of wonder if the smell of mine has changed. But then again, it's not like a strong smell, so I'm not worried about it. But it's something I would like to just kind of keep an eye on, you know? Like, keep an eye on the smell and try to just use it as much as I can, because I do really like it. But at this point, I am like all the way up here. Like, I've barely used any, honestly. So I just want to incorporate that more if I can help it. There is one foundation that I'm carrying over from my 2024 plan to pan, and it's the LYS Triple Fix Serum Foundation. Love this. I'm wearing it today. This is one of my absolute favorite foundations. It is just so beautiful and a really great price point, especially for a Sephora brand. I really love it. So I don't want to use it up, but it is my oldest foundation, so I should use it up. I'm right about here, so I'm a little bit more than halfway down, especially because it gets a little bit smaller as it goes to the bottom, you can see. So I think I have about like this much left, which is really probably like a third of it, I would say, since you see how much wider it is up at the top. I also would like to hopefully use up 2 concealers next year, both of which I think are like pretty, well used already. I actually bought them both in the same month. I got them both in October 2022, so they are both my oldest concealers. First is the NYX Bare With Me Serum Concealer. This is my favorite concealer, so I will have no problem using this up. Probably have like a third of this left, maybe a little bit more than that. But I feel like this moves pretty fast because just over a month ago I was below the word bare and now I'm all the way up here. So I really do think it moves pretty quickly. The other one I've kind of fallen out of love with, but I'm still willing to use it up. It's the Urban Decay Stay Naked Concealer. I wear the shade 20 CP. Oh, by the way, in the NYX I wear the shade Light. But this, I think I've had it standing upright for the past like 45 minutes or so. I think we are about here. So again, like maybe a little over a third is left. I might even experiment with mixing this, or even the next one, with the Glow Recipe Dew Drops or Hue Drops if I want to sheer them out and turn them into a foundation. I loved doing that with the Kosas concealer. That's one of the main ways I used that one up, with the Glow Recipe Dew Drops specifically, and I loved that combo. So I have a feeling that'll look really beautiful with these concealers as well, and that's probably one of the biggest ways that I will use up both of these things. Another thing I'm carrying over from my 2024 plan to pan is the Oma Beauty Double Take Sculpt and Strobe Duo Stick in the shade White Pearl. So this year my goal was to use up the contour side, not really focusing on the highlight side. I have almost leveled it out. I think I may still be able to level this out by the end of the year, but I probably won't be able to dig out everything and use all of that up. So I want to try to finish that up completely in 2025, and also in 2025 I would really like to finish up the highlighter side, and that way this whole thing can be empty. That would be so nice to use up a dual-ended product. This highlighter is beautiful. I think a great way to use this would actually be under makeup, kind of as a glowy priming stick. So I'm going to try that because it is really like almost more dewy than it is shimmery. Like it does have some shimmer to it, but it has just a really nice, almost like glossy finish. So I'm going to try it that way. I think that'll be a great way to use it up faster because it is so like soft that I think this should probably go pretty fast if I'm using it that way. And I'll also use it as a cheekbone highlighter, of course, but I just don't use very much of it at a time when I use it that way. But this is really old. I've had it since 2020, so that's almost 5 years, which is hard to believe, but true. So really need to move this out ASAP. So I guess actually if you count this as 2 things, which I will count it as 2 things actually in my end of year empties once I do finish it up, but if you count this as 2 things, then there are actually 26 items on this 2025 Plant to Pan list. I also want to continue trying to hit pan on the Fenty Sunstalker Bronzer in Into Sun. I also tried to hit pan on this year. Clearly that has not happened yet. I guess it could happen in the next few weeks, but if I don't hit pan by the end of 24, then I want to continue trying to hit pan in 2025. Not necessarily trying to use this up, but I would love to hit pan on it. It is like my favorite bronzer, and I love to see pans, especially in my favorite products, because it means I'm using them, and that's really, that should be the goal. I also have 2 blushes. These are also being carried over from my 2024 list, and these are 2 of my oldest cream blushes, but also 2 of my favorite cream blushes. And a lot of times my oldest products end up being some of my favorites because they're things that have survived a lot of declutters. So I just thought about that. Whoa, there's like a huge cat hair inside of this Milani. Oh my god, they're 2 huge cat hairs. And they look like Heidi hairs because they're like the really wispy, long, white ones. So first up is the Milani Cheek Kiss Cream Blush in Nude Kiss. I have a huge dip in this blush, so I really think it's just a matter of time until I hit pan on this, but I don't know. I feel like it's taking forever, but there can't be much further to go. So this, I think, I will be surprised if we don't hit pan in this by the end of next year. That would be really surprising to me. And also the Tower 28 Cream Blush in Magic Hour, another one of my favorite blushes. And the great thing about both of these is they're great shades for all year round. They're not just like seasonal shades to me. They're really perfect for any look, and they're both different from each other. And I feel like the 2 of these blushes could suit so many different looks. Like you have a slightly cooler pinky red, and then you have a warm peach. So the 2 of these would suit a lot of different looks, I think. But here's my Tower 28 blush. This actually doesn't have a ton of product in it compared to other similar products, so I don't think it should take too long to hit pan on this, especially also if I use it as a lip product, because it is actually technically a lip and cheek color. I don't necessarily want to finish either of these next year, although that would be amazing. Really just want to hit pan, and also just see how much I can expand the pan, I think. Just see how much I can use up of both of these. But I really, really want to hit pan in both because I don't have any pans in my blush collection, and I really hate that. Like, I just want to have a few pans, you know? There are also a few single eyeshadows I would love to pan in the new year. One of them, and this one I want to actually use up, is the oldest product in my entire collection at the moment. It's the MakeupGeek foiled eyeshadow in Grandstand. It is a beautiful rose gold. I love this shade. It's perfect for a one and done look. It complements so many other looks beautifully. I love this kind of shade, so really should have no problem using this often. I could even use this as like my go-to shadow. The pan in this is going to expand really quickly because I actually repressed this a long time ago when it shattered, and I guess I lost quite a bit of shadow when that happened, but also I think I've just worn it down pretty evenly over the years, so it's a very, very thin layer in there. I think that this actually wouldn't be that hard to use up. I just have to like try and actually use it. But I think a lot of days this could be like a lazy eye look, just do this and some bronzer in the crease, and that would be beautiful. So I just love to have at least one empty eyeshadow pan at the end of 2025 because I haven't done that in a very long time. Another magnetic single, this one I don't want to use up, but I do want to hit pan because it has a big dip in it. This is the ColourPop single shadow in Playa. It is a satiny mint green. It's really cute, really pretty. I do have to kind of layer it on to get it to really show up as a mint green. It's not like the best quality shadow, but it's just cute, and it's stayed in my collection for a very long time. I've had it since 2018, I think, so it's very old, and I would just love to hit pan on this. I also would like to carry over from 2024 the Charlotte Tilbury Eyes to Mesmerize cream shadow in rose gold. This is a really beautiful product, even though I do think it's overpriced and overrated. You're not getting like a revolutionary look from this shadow. It's just fun to use. It's very soft and creamy. Like, it feels almost like an eye cream as you apply it, but it has, you know, just a nice rose gold glow to it. It's pretty. I like wearing it on its own or as an eyeshadow base under other things. I especially like it with like the Norvina palette. That's really pretty. I think this would also be pretty layered underneath the MakeupGeek Grandstand shadow, so lots of great ways to use these. But I just want to hit pan on this. Again, not necessarily finish it, but it is a cream product. It says the shelf life is 6 months. I've had it way longer than that. But it's still, like, nothing about it has changed. The texture is just as soft and creamy as it was when I first opened it. This is an ambitious one, but I figured I would throw it in as well to just give it a shot. It's the LA Girl Dream Glitter Iridescent Liquid Eyeshadow. I am terrible about using up liquid eyeshadows before they dry out, but I would really like to try with this one. It's pretty. It's a nice topper. Again, it would go nicely with a lot of these other eyeshadows I just talked about, and I already have some decent windowing in mind, so maybe I could finish it. I don't know, or at least just like make some good progress on it. I have 4 eyeliners that I would love to use up in 2025, or at least just use a good chunk of all of them, even if I don't finish them all. But the CoverGirl Exhibitionist 24-Hour Kohl Eyeliner Pencil in black. I actually used a lot of this for my Halloween costume. I dressed up as Binks from Hocus Pocus, or just a black cat, basically. And I used this for like my whiskers, my mouth, my nose. I actually used up like a good bit of this, so maybe next year I'll dress up as a cat again and use up the rest of it. But yeah, it's getting quite short. I'm guessing it probably goes to about this point, so I don't have that much more to use up. But then again, I really don't think to wear black pencil liner very often. And a lot of looks I do, it just doesn't really suit, so I'm not going to like force it in those situations, but I just want to use it whenever a look calls for it. Just try to just get consistent use out of it, or find new ways to use it, like either as an eyeshadow base under multi-chrome. Sometimes that can look really cool. Really would love to use this up because it's getting very old. And I also want to use up my equally old eyeliners from CoverGirl. These are the Perfect Point Plus eyeliners in Midnight Blue and Gray Khaki. I have used up in the past the brown shade of this, and I feel like it doesn't take that long to use up, but then again, there's no way to know how much is left because it's one of those that after you click it up, it won't go back down. So you don't really know how much you have left until one day it just stops clicking up. I don't necessarily wear these shades of eyeliner that often, and once again, I'm not going to force it if it doesn't go well with a look that I'm doing. But I just want to try to find ways to use both of these more in 2025 and hopefully use up at least some of these, because these are super old. And this is also quite old, the NYX Epic Wear Liner Stick in Rose Gold. This one I think should be pretty easy to use up if I just like remember to incorporate it. But this is a really pretty like light rose gold shade, and I have used up quite a bit of this. Not as much as that CoverGirl, so that's the difference there. But I still have used up a lot of it. I feel like it's something that I kind of forget to use, but when I use it, I really love the result, and I think I would enjoy using it more often. I just need to, I don't know, I kind of overlook eyeliner a lot. Like, by the time I get to that point in my routine, I'm like in a hurry and I just kind of skip it. Or, I don't know, a lot of times I just like going without eyeliner. Like, I think sometimes I look better with just eyeshadow used as eyeliner. But I just want to try to use these as much as possible without forcing myself to use them, and hopefully at least use up a couple of them. I kind of have a crazy number of lip products that I want to use up in 2025. I have 7 that I would like to try to finish. That's definitely ambitious. That would be great. That would be amazing. That would be the most lip products I've ever used up in a year. The first 2 are definitely my oldest lip products. These are the Kopari lip glossies in Birthday Suit and Sunset Kiss. I don't think they sell either of these shades anymore. These might have been like limited edition or something, but I am really tired of having these. I feel like they take forever to go through, and I like these, but I've actually used up the clear version of this a while ago as well. After using these for so long, I just kind of feel like they don't last very long on the lips, and they kind of feel more like a lip oil than a gloss or like balm, but I just feel like the moisture doesn't last very long and I have to reapply so often, yet somehow it still takes me forever to use them up, even though I'm reapplying them so much. I actually really don't have much left of Sunset Kiss, really not much, and I do have to really squeeze to get it out, so I think there can't be too much longer on this one. Birthday Suit, I have more of this than Sunset Kiss, but still, like, I squeezed all the air out and that's how much is left. So both of these are definitely running low, and I definitely think I can use both of these up in 2025. I do feel like lip gloss is one of the things that I'm able to use up faster than other categories, so that's why I've been a little more ambitious with the lip products than other categories. I also would love to finish up the Rimmel Stay Glossy in the shade Bare Minimum. This I've had standing upright, and you can actually see this is how full it is. So it is almost completely full. It's not that it's a slow-moving product, it's just that I really haven't made much progress on it yet. But this is my oldest, like, doe foot applicator lip gloss, so that's the next one in line to try to finish. The next oldest, if I get to it, is the Sigma Renew Lip Oil in the shade Tint. I actually have used up a lot of this already without even really trying, so that tells me this might be kind of quick to use up. It comes with 0.18 ounces. The Rimmel comes with also 0.18 ounces. So these actually have the exact same amount of product. So neither one of those should take too long to finish. They're both very neutral, very wearable shades. And then this one would be fun to finish up. This is the Lawless Forget the Filler Lip Plumping Line Smoothing Gloss in Juicy Watermelon. This is actually what I have on today. I love this. It actually matches my sweater perfectly. I don't even usually like this color of pink, but in this gloss, I love it. Like, this gloss makes me love this color somehow. It's like a Barbie pink. It's sheer, so I feel like it's more wearable than like a really bright pink lipstick or something. And these glosses are just so smooth and glassy. They really are plumping. And this, without even trying, I've already used up probably almost 2/3. We are down to here. I'm definitely more than halfway done with it. I think this is the next oldest one after the Sigma, and I'm kind of just picking from the oldest of my lip products because those are the ones I would like to use up first. I think this is a really nice little trio of lip colors though, and I don't think it would be entirely unrealistic to think that I could use all 3 of them up next year. And the Lawless Forget the Filler, by the way, only comes with 0.11 fluid ounces, so it does come with quite a bit less than those other 2. I don't have any full-on lipsticks that I want to use up next year, but I would love to use up these 2 tinted lip balms from e.l.f. These are the Hydrating Core Lip Shines in Cheery and Happy. Cheery is older. I've had this one longer, but I actually have used up more of Happy just because it's a slightly more like nude shade. Yeah, I don't have a ton left of either one, but you can see there is slightly more of Cheery, which is that orangey coral one. These are so fun. I think these would make beautiful blushes as well. I've used up this much of them without trying again, so I think progress on these, really shouldn't be too difficult. So those are all 25 of the items that I want to try to use up in 2025 or hit pan on. Again, I don't think I will be able to do that on all of these, but I do think that it's better to try and still have a lot of great empties at the end of the year, even if I don't check off every single one of these items. I am really excited about getting a little bit more into project panning again in the new year. It's definitely going to be different than it was in the past. Like, I do just want to be a lot more intentional with what I'm panning and why, and not make it like the most important thing in my makeup routine, I never want it to feel like I'm forcing myself to use these things, but I still, there are some products I feel like kind of need the dedicated attention to actually be able to finish them in a reasonable time frame. So that is where project panning comes in, I think, for me. But thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today, and thank you so much to Luisa for sponsoring today's video. We'll once again have that sale linked down below if you're in the market for some new jewelry, whether it's for yourself or a loved one. If you enjoyed today's video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. If you would like to go a step further in your support of my channel, I do also have a Patreon and a channel membership where I upload bonus content, so I'd love to have you join over there as well. Huge shout out to all of my current patrons and channel members. I hope you all have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll talk to you very soon in my next video. Bye!